What's up, guys? This is how to deal with women in 2025. Um, so basically, how to deal with women in 2025 is everyone's a fucking liar. Everyone's a liar. Women are just the ones that get the bad rep because. And I'm saying this to not be misogynistic and feminist, like masculinist. And getting rich is not going to help with anything because I've made a lot of progress in my business. This is what you need to deal with women is you got to learn how to get women and then choose your woman from abundance. Right? Because 80% of the women that you're going to come across are a bunch of bullshitters. It's all a bunch of bullshit. So, how to deal with women in 2025 is you have to learn how to get a lot of women. Let me tell you how to get a lot of women. You have to learn game. Look up Real Social Dynamics on YouTube. That's Owen Cook, Jeffy, what's his name? Max, you got all those guys on YouTube. It's pickup artists. We used to call it pickup artists. Now we call it game. Someone who knows game. And you have to learn how to get girls, and money can help with that, with the confidence thing. And building an ecosystem that women want to be a part of. And the line is like, you can come to the party. That doesn't mean you get to stick around and stay in my life. I'll give you a bottle of champagne at the party so you can get your fix. I'll never feel that money lost, right? Let's say if I got, $1 million budget for a party of money that I'll never feel that loss, right? I'm trying to meet some new people. I want to throw a party to meet some new people, right? And because right now I don't have too many people in my life. I'm talking to my buddy that I met like not long ago, right? I talked to like a few family members, a few friends from back in the day, but I don't have any real like serious friends in my life. So, I met a few people that I'm looking to maybe link up with. And the sad thing is, I'm all business type of guy. I'm all business. I'm 99% business 100% of the time. I am fully aligned with money. This is what I love to do, But how to deal with women in 2025 is like, you have to learn how to get girls. You got to learn how to get girls. And you want to choose your woman from abundance, right? You want to choose your woman from abundance. That's it. I have like stuff that I don't talk about all the time that I know about. That's like what to do if you have more than one woman that you want around in your life. Now, I do offer paid coaching on this subject if motherfuckers want to pay me, and my friends. I tell my friends this stuff basically for free, so. Yeah, you got to be able to choose your woman from abundance. You don't just want to go for the first girl that comes along your path. If you're trying to get to the money, if you're trying to get to the women, if you're trying to get in great shape and look good and live the dream that we were sold as kids, it's always like input equals output. input equals output. You know, I went out for 10 fucking years to learn how to get girls. This is how to get girls. It's this simple, guys. Walk up to a girl. First of all, you got to learn how to say hi, right? As you're walking through the gas station, as you're walking past a girl, just say hi. Just wave, just say hi. And don't say nothing else. She might say hi back, she might not. Just say hi. If she says hi back, that's great. Just keep it moving. You know, just keep it moving. You know, if she doesn't say hi back, you know, don't let that discourage you, because 50% of the girls will say something back. It's just say hi, you know, it's hi, you know. And then you got to build up that confidence to ask the big questions. Because if you look like a little bitch in your energy, you know, she's going to pick up on that, you know. So that's where having money comes in. It's not that, you know, women are not going to be attracted to your party. And I'm talking to my younger self almost. Women aren't going to be attracted to your party when you get rich and you buy your mansion, your dream house, you know, whatever that might be. If it's a little condo in the suburbs, well, everyone wants to live in the suburbs. Some people want to live in the hood. I think that's great, because someone's got to live in the fucking hood. It's not me. It's not going to be me. I'm going to be driving my Rolls Royce down the streets of whatever fucking gated community that I'm living in so that people can't find me and shit. And you want to cultivate this personality. You want to work on your personality. Your ego is so fucking important, because if you're talking to a girl for the first time, a new girl, you want to make it so that the first time you make a little mistake in the conversation, or if you don't see eye to eye on something, you could still link up and maybe hook up or whatever. First of all, you gotta look good, you gotta smell good, you gotta wear nice clothes, you gotta be in good shape physically, you know. But money itself, if you think money itself, and this is talking to my younger self, like, I remember when I came into school in the 10th grade, or maybe 9th or 10th or 11th grade, like, it was high school, I don't know. It wasn't the 9th grade. I believe it was, you know, the 10th or 11th grade. I walked into school. My friend let me borrow his watch. It was a Gucci watch. It was like if I look it up on eBay, it was maybe like a $200 watch that his grandfather gave him as a present. Girls before that would only talk to me like on occasion were coming up to me like, wow, that's a nice watch. You know, I was getting all this love for this watch, and I believe it happened more than once. This girl that never talked to me before in my life, that never even looked at me, was like, wow, that's a nice watch. You know, it was like a $45 like Gucci watch. I think we sold it to the pawn shop for like $45. So just having money is going to get you girls, but it's going to get you all the wrong type of girls. And what do you think is going to happen when the money goes away, or if the money goes away? And you have to like think of like those case scenarios of like, kind of like how it seems like my mother only only talks to me like every now and then, probably to see. Like if I've made it in my business yet, because as far as I'm concerned, half the people that were in my life, 80% of the people that were in my life when I started my career left or started. I have like a small pinch of people compared to the small handful of people that were in my life in the beginning of my journey, right? In the beginning of my vision quest. So money's not the answer. Money's not the be all end all. Having money is not. Let me put it to you this way: I've been a rich man and I've been a poor man, and I could tell you, having money is not conversely as positive as how negative not having money is. But not having money is the fucking worst. And having it, conversely, is like not as big of a deal because everything is so fucking expensive. You know, everything in life that you want is so fucking expensive. You want a nice house? Well, that'll be 10 million bucks right there. Hey, that's no big deal. It's the day in and day out expenses that fucking killed me in my first business. I literally had to shut down my first business because it's just, this is a video on how to deal with money, or how to deal with women. I'll make a separate video on what I went through in my first business. I'll put it to you this way. I had to literally shut down my first business because my daily alcohol expenses, going to the bar and dropping like $500 a day at the bar, put me literally out of business. Because one day I looked up and I had a flagged account on Amazon. I was selling on Amazon at the time. Was a great way to make money, and I guess I haven't sold on Amazon in almost 10 years, but I guess it still is a great way to make a little bit of money. It's just, I haven't sold on Amazon in such a long time. My day in and day out expenses, I could still be on Amazon making like, you know, probably by now be making like, I know people that are making like $2 million a month. I know of people that are making like $2 million a month. I know of people who make an easy like 6 figures a month is like a very standard amount of money to be making on Amazon. Like 6 figures a month. So I could jump on Amazon right now, probably be making $1 million a year within like 5 to 10 years. Easy money. Within 5 years, making like $1 million a year. No big deal, you know. But then you might wind up as some dumbass kid with Monopoly money that you don't know what the fuck to do with. You don't know that this early internet money like Shopify, Amazon, blah, 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 whatever it is like, this is not going to last forever. And it could. Okay, it could. But my thing is money helps you get girls because money helps you gain confidence. But if you're smart, you're not going to use money as a mechanism to get girls. The confidence thing is the one thing. The house that you take them to is another thing. I have a plan, okay? It's just a plan, okay? But it's like, I understand that once a woman finds out that you have a shit ton of money going on, or even if you're just educated, like, if a woman who's college educated doesn't date a man that's a high school dropout, right? Or maybe that's true, maybe that's not true. That's why, like, you see, like, out and women, if you're watching this video, if you want a rich man, you have to be a rich woman. You don't have to be rich when it comes to money. You just have to be interested in the same things that I'm interested in. I want a woman that's in my category. Whether if you want to be an Instagram influencer or whatever it is, but don't use it as a mechanism to get a rich man. Is like, use it as a mechanism. Use your dreams. It is like, I got into money thinking that it was going to solve all my problems. Money was the problem solver for me. I thought money was going to help me get girls. Money helped me with confidence. It did not help me necessarily. It helped me get girls because now when I sloppily walk to the gas station to pick up a box of cigars, I do smoke cigars, by the way. See? Cigar. When I sloppily, merrily walk to the gas station to pick up a box of cigars and I see a girl that I like, I say, and this is the line, I say, hey, you got a boyfriend? If she says yes, I say, oh, damn, we'll have a good one anyways, And if she says no, it's like, well, do you want one? And if she says, sure, I'll say, well, give me your number. We'll talk about it. Something like that. Hey, it's like, that's why I say, like, everyone's got to start somewhere. But that's my pickup line today, is straight to the pudding. Is not like some scam bullshit of like, it's like, you got a boyfriend, or do you want to go out sometime, or I want to get to know you a little bit better, or something like that, Straight to the pudding. I'm very much straight to the pudding when it comes to picking up chicks. And it works sometimes. So, yeah. And money helped me with that confidence. You see, guys, social media, I'm willing to bet that the next 10 women I see, 8 of them are on social media. Okay, 8 or 9 of them are on social media. 7 or 8 of them are being told dirty, filthy little lies by social media that they're hot shit when they're just not. They're just not. They're very much the average fucking bear when it comes to bitches, right? I don't mean bitches in a negative sense. I mean bitches like a bitch is a female dog, right? That just wants to get fucked, right? And I'm a 30-year-old man. I also used to take anabolic steroids. My sex drive isn't that high. I have like no natural testosterone without steroids. I still jack off, a couple times, like maybe like once a day. Sometimes I skip a day, sometimes I jack off twice a day. But that like primal urge to have sex doesn't exist within me. I'm not a fucking animal anymore. So yeah, It's like this. We are fucking animals. Humans are just as much. We are the most. I won't say even the most evolved. We're just the most advanced animals. It is. If you look at every fucking animal, it is build a house, get food, go back to house, fuck your bitch, reproduce, get food, come back to house, get food, come back to house, fuck your bitch. Get food, come back to house, fuck your bitch. Get food, come back to house, fuck your bitch. Reproduce. Do that once or twice, reproduce once or twice. Chase food for your life. Learn about God. I think that's what it's really all about. Learn about the way things work. Learn about God. Call it God. To learn about God, yeah. We are simply the first species to utilize, true intellect. Birds, look at a bird. A bird builds a nest in a tree, right? Bird doesn't get cold, right? Bird flies south for the winter, right? Birds are pretty smart too, Is like humans are the first species to discover this fucking vision quest of we invented money, right? We invented money. Money drives everything else, and karma. Money and karma drive everything else. And and that's why for thousands of years, humans, we only recently started discovering all this shit because money was invented. Now that money is invented, I guess money has existed for a long time, but now that money is invented, man discovered fire. I don't know about evolution. I don't know how much I believe in evolution. But if you look at general human behavior, the only difference is we have money, right? We have money. So you could work a job for 5 years and then not work for 5 years, and then go back to work for 5 years and not work for 5 years. Is animals typically spend their days looking for food, fucking their bitch, reproducing, and that's it. I wonder what birds think about. I wonder what birds think about if you could only translate that into English. Money drives everything else, and humans also discovered exercise. Now, I'm sure other animals exercise, but pretty much if you look at, wildlife, it's big fish eat the little fish. Big fish eat the little fish. Whatever species, humans are obviously the most dashingly good-looking species of monkey, but up against the fucking dinosaur, you're pretty much just shit out of luck, you're pretty much just food, So mostly, they have this saying called let nature take its course. Or you could deploy what I refer to as a genuine intellectual vision quest to get many bitches, a lot of money, and be the fucking prime ape of the fucking gym in strength and aesthetic, which is going to help you get even more bitches, and the money helps you get even more bitches. Keep in mind, the average female waltzing the street of fucking whatever city or wherever, is like a fucking dumbass, is like a bird. I see a psychiatrist and I've done electroconvulsive therapy. I've experimented with a lot of different vitamins and nootropics. I use nicotine. I drink coffee, which helps me stay awake longer. Or rather, it doesn't have to be coffee. It could be any form of caffeine. I'm about to order a bottle of 90 caplets of 200 milligrams of caffeine. My favorite brand, one of the only brands I've tried, really, but is my favorite brand of bottled caffeine, like a caffeine supplement. Humans are just, we are almost. I'm willing to. What is the difference between a human and like a fucking bird? Is we got to have a roof over our head, because our bodies aren't covered in hair. It's almost like humans have done just like what I did when I started my career. I dropped out of college. I lived in my car. I just left. I just quit the whole 9 to 5, go to college bullshit. I swore off of getting jobs. I got tattoos so that it would be harder to get a job. I might start getting face tattoos just to further dig deep into the life of I do not want to work a job. And when humans had the opportunity to just sit in the house and invent shit, that's when everything changed. We invented first it was papyrus. We found a way to put ideas on paper. Or no, first we carved ideas into stone tablets. I want to find some of these stone tablets and see what the fuck people were writing about. Some of the original human concepts of how to do better as a species, And that nowadays is even disintegrated because doing good together as a species is even being whittled away at by the fact that it's no longer us versus the elements. It's now us versus each other, And what do you think that we're going to find when we start going into outer space? Is what are we going to come across? I wonder, I wonder, I really do just want to stay here on this planet, And if Elon Musk finds a fucking way to get into outer space, please don't tell the aliens where we are, because your fucking home planet is. Because when you do that, you see, it's what Easterners take the fucking boat to the Western lands, discover the natives, and kill them all, or move half of them to fucking Puerto Rico, push half of them down into Mexico, and kill most of them, and fuck the women. Then they go and get the fucking Africans to work on the farms because there's just simply not enough people. And then the Africans take over half the fucking country because black people are real aggressive and strong, and they're warriors, And European people are the people that sat in the house and invented all the shit. And then the natives of the Western land are perhaps, I don't know what their history is. More probably hopefully spiritual. I'm I come from both sides of the of the map. I have genealogy from Native America, indigenous. My grandmother, like 5 or 6 generations back, was indigenous American. She's like from here before the white man came here or whatever, the white man or whatever. But I'm like mostly European. So when I move to an all black community, I don't fit in. I don't fit in white communities. I don't fit in anywhere. So I want to move where I'm welcome. I want to find a place where I'm welcome, but I'm just not welcome anywhere. So fucking deal with it. I'm here, Maybe like Phoenix. Maybe I'll move to like, that's where I've always wanted to move, is like Phoenix, Arizona. It's crazy. Like, my vision quest led me right back to a place that when the internet first came out, there was me and my grandfather were like looking at places, and I saw this house. Like, we were looking at like expensive houses, and my grandfather, we were looking at like expensive houses, and I found the same house. It's like a $5-6 million house. I found the same house as I was house shopping, added it to my bookmarks because I wanted to buy this house. It was one of the houses that I wanted to buy. Now I just want one house. I realize you don't need 10 houses. Now, am I going to drive back and forth or fly on my private plane? Yeah, a private plane is useful. But when it comes to owning multiple houses, is like, what are you going to fly between your multiple houses, like back and forth and just waste your life doing shit like that? I don't want to do shit like that. I'd rather fucking just stay in one house, work in one house, live in one house, get to know the community in one house, and let someone else have the other house, the other nice house. And I don't really care how much the house costs. $100 million worth of a house doesn't mean $100 million worth of a lifestyle. I found a house that's perfectly nice. It's about, $10 million bucks. That, well, I'm not gonna fucking commit suicide because my house is only 10 million bucks, but this house is really nice. It's just a house that I like. It's a house that I want. I even found a house that's like $750,000 that I like around the area where I grew up, where my family lives, So I'm not gonna like fucking kill myself because my house is only a certain amount of money, But this is supposed to be a video on how to get girls. I always wind up rambling because I am schizoaffective, and I do have problems. But so yeah, to sum things up, how to deal with women in 2025. They're all a bunch of fucking bullshitters, just like the men are all a bunch of fucking bullshitters. If you're the one good guy out there, which you may or may not be, they're already on their toes. You should already be on your toes. That's why I say, like, date around. And when you find someone that you have an honest connection with, that you have like similar interests and stuff, that like you watching this video, you might want to be able to sit down and like watch a movie with your significant other. And That's kind of like not me. You know, I'm like I said, I'm 99% business 100% of the time. The 1% that I'm not all about business is like when I'm listening to my favorite music, and I listen to like pump up music that makes me feel pumped, you know. First of all, you got to learn how to get girls. Okay. Second of all, you choose your girlfriend or girlfriends from abundance. Third of all, don't get jealous. Because these women nowadays, from my experience, 90% of them are probably cheating. At least like 80%. And if you think your woman is the magical part of the 20% of women that aren't cheating on their fucking husband, you know, you're probably shit like lying to yourself, because, you know, that's just the way it goes. So that's the way it goes, and you just got to deal with it. Because here's the thing, is you want to see other bitches too. So let your woman see other guys, and you can see other bitches, and you're both fucking happy. It works both ways. Side note, big girls need love too. Don't be so prejudiced against women of different body types, different nationalities, blah, 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 blah. Is like, I found something very odd in my maturity, that when I was in high school and junior high, and all my life, I thought fat girls were disgusting. As I get older, fat girls look better and better. They don't look better than like the average girl, but they look just as good, you know, and it's crazy, but that's the way it goes. And I guess that's it, you know, is like, women cheat, women lie, and I don't cheat, because when I have some pussy going on, why would I cheat? You know, I already have some. You know, I'm not greedy. You know, greed is a sin. You know, I definitely don't mean to mock the name of Jesus Christ, but that, I think he would find that funny. You know. So yeah, message to my younger self. You know, don't get caught up in the bitches, man. The bitches will come, man. And if you let money come, money will come too. You know, it's more of a thing of like, don't try to be more like a fucking bird. You know, get your money, but here's the thing with that. A message to my younger self, be more like a fucking bird. You know, go get your money. Go buy the house that you damn well want. Eat whatever you damn well want. Drink the champagne that you damn well want. When humans found out that we could get drunk off of eating certain types of, you know, herbs and spices and berries and stuff, we freaked out and we said, oh shit, we could sell these for money. Money is the key factor that separates humans from other fucking animals. We didn't do it all for our fucking selves. We did it all for money. And bitches. But don't get too caught up in the bitches, because that shit is going to stagnate you. Get caught up in your spirituality. That's fine. And money is not, is definitely not a bad thing to get caught up in. But if you got confidence, bitches will come naturally. You know, bitches come naturally to guys that have no business getting bitches. You know how I feel half the time is like, no, I got all the money, so I should be getting all the bitches. But it doesn't work that way. It's bullshit. But, yeah. So, it's crazy, but if I could go back, I'd have been more spiritual. I'd have been more like a bird, you know. Go and get your money. You know, there's nothing wrong with money. But don't neglect your spirituality. You know, be more like a bird, you know.